All right, guys, Melissa here. My hair is up, and usually when it's up, I'm in productive mode. When it's down, I'm a little softer. So, usually, women can have a balance, and I'm going to talk about personal growth here. Women can have a balance of strength, of being very productive, but yet being soft, warm, and nurturing. So, as I talk about personal growth and personal relationships here, I am somebody who has a heart for fixing problems. One of the things I like to do is clean because when I'm done cleaning, I'm like, "Oh, looks so much better." So, let's talk about some things, some good qualities a woman can have in life, okay? So, I was thinking back to my dating years and I'm like, you know what? I think I just needed validation on the outside. I really think I did. I had a cousin once. It was right around the housewarming party that we had, me and my husband. My mother put on a housewarming party for us. People came over, had gifts. My cousin was in my life. I used to go clubbing with my cousin. I was talking to my boys about this and how stupid clubbing is. And I'm like, when was that? Was it, I think it's after my husband broke up with me. I did not care. I had a bunch of boyfriends in a short amount of time. I think I was clubbing, but my cousin was in my life on a regular basis. So we had our housewarming party, and she had said something to me that really offended me at the time, but I think I needed to hear it. She had said something like, "You're just like your mom. You don't have your own mind. You have, you need to think, you need to have your own mind instead of your husband's." Something like that. And I'm thinking about it, and I think I said something like, I think I had said something like I had liked Andrew Dice Clay at the time, like my husband. And she had said something about it, and I took offense because I did feel like I had my own mind. But yet at the time I look back, I'm like, you weren't really self-developed as much as you are now. So I think she did have a point. I think she did. Like, I mean, I don't know why, but I think I was just brought up in a way that I was a very good kid, very compliant, very wanting to get along with people, where now I don't care what people think about me, but a people pleaser. So I think it just came natural for me, especially as a woman, with the role models I had, just to be like, I don't want to say a trophy wife, but to be kind of like just submit to my husband, just go along with what he wanted. And we hear this a lot in church circles too: submit to your husband. And that is true. It has a place. It has a place to respect your husband, but there is so much more in a relationship. And especially as you get older, you need more tools in a relationship. So, and you also need a lot of resilience. So, I want to talk about maybe three things here. One, confidence, your confidence in who you are, your identity in who you are, your value as a person in God, knowing Him. The more you know Him, the more you know yourself. Confidence is huge in life because you're going to get hit in life with so many things that you need that quiet self assurance. You may come out as a tough girl, you may come out with like this amazing, tough resilience, which you do need in life too. You need resilience. So you may come across as, really tough, but really in the end, there is a quiet self assurance and confidence that God's got everything in control, and you know who you are, you know where you're going, and that is very important. So confidence is important, being resilient, and I'm going to talk about the third one in a minute, but let me hit on resilience for a minute. Life is tough. Okay. Life is tough. The older I get, I'm like, I don't remember it being this tough when I was younger. Life is tough and you have to be resilient. You cannot crumble with pressure. So, as you get older and you mature, you do not downplay the toughness of life, but you can also handle the toughness in life. So, detective called me this morning again and said, I just need you to sign these papers to get dental records. So, I have to work on that today, and it's not working with my Android, so I have to actually print this out. So you know Okay, there's a text. Okay, so life, I mean, especially when you have a big family, ladies. I've had 5 sons, I've had a lot happening in my life. You have to have resilience to bounce back, to be able to handle things in life, and to say, how can I grow? What can I do? And you have a choice to respond, not react, but respond and say, like with my son missing, obviously he's an adult and I don't have to worry as if he was a little kid. But at the same time, because I love him, I pray about it. I have two choices. I can fall apart or I can give it to God and pray. So that's what I do. And I try not to worry. If I start worrying, I'm like, what a waste of time to worry. It is a waste of time. You do not want to do that. So you just need to be active, and be available to people, but know, they've made choices in their life. It's up to them what they do with their lives. Hopefully nothing bad happened, and that's where I'm concerned with the safety. But otherwise, if he is just living his life off the grid, these are the choices he made. Okay. So there's resilience, and there's also being authentic. If you can be authentic, which I value a lot, I really value being the real deal, because it's important to have enough self confidence in life that you are not a people pleaser. You are not looking for validation. I did a video last week about how important um, flawless, flawless looks tend to be right now in our society. And yes, you need to look healthy, you need to take care of yourself, but we have put way too much weight on how women look, way too much emphasis. What's even more important in a relationship than how a woman looks is what's under the hood. What is her character? Are there meaningful connections? Does she empathize? So, with my husband, it was important for me to empathize when he had something to say, to listen, to validate his feelings that, yes, what you have said, you are right. You have a point. Appreciate your husband. Another text. Appreciate your husband. Appreciate what he does. Validate him. So these are all things that I would work at. It is very important for a man to have respect. When we took a marriage class together, and this was an excellent marriage class. I recommend the book, Love and Respect: How Women and Men Are Very Different in Their Thinking. You can say one thing to a man and he can take it this way. You can say the same thing to a woman and she sees it this way, and how important that is. So that's a book out there by the Eggriches, I think. So that is a really good book. Women having independence, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having your own passions, priorities, independence. It usually enriches your husband's life, right? To be having your own goals. You do not have to depend on a man for your happiness. You can make yourself happy. He doesn't have to solve all your problems. Even though men tend to be problem solvers, usually if you talk to them and say, this is what's going on, they usually will want to solve the problem for you. Um, but, sometimes I did not like that. I would be like, no, that's not what I'm saying. No, that's not the answer. This is what I'm going to do. And that's okay. You don't have to be like, you know, you have to think for me, right? So, what else did I want to say? So, those are the three main ones. I think it's important to have the same core values. When my husband and I were growing up, we were on the same page. We had so much in common because we only grew up like a mile away from each other. So, we knew the same people, we went to the same schools, same friends, same teachers, same subjects in school. We could make fun of the teachers together and the stupidity we thought happened. We had a lot of fun in school together. We really did. We connected on so many levels. We were both pretty physically active. I mean, he used to bike everywhere, so he was really in shape when he was younger, which I loved. And and I was super in shape too, just from always being an outdoorsy girl. My mom would always be with my brother and I, go play outside, go do something. And so we were very active when we were younger, very active. And so, you know, up until I was a teen. Once the abortion happened, then I had eating problems and I had gained weight. But otherwise, you know, swimming all my life, everything. So, core values, you want a sense of partnership. That's a key aspect right there. You don't want to feel like, you have to be too dependent on one another. Conflict is always going to happen. So for me right now, where I've been attacked by my husband and he filed for divorce, that was a choice he made not to solve conflict. Otherwise, usually in a relationship, there will always be conflict of some kind, and how you handle it is going to be the part that's important. Now, obviously, if he's filed for divorce, he said pretty much it's over. So, I said to someone, my husband wanted peace, and she's like, well, then why did he get a divorce? It's like, yeah, you want to fight? I mean, why would you do that? That doesn't make sense. So, what else can I add to this first video on this? Just being capable, healthy relationships. They should be vibrant. They should offer support for one another, plus practical support, because there's always financial situations, there's always things that happen. Appreciating a man's hard work, appreciating what he brings to that relationship, that's important. Um, Let me see what else. I talked about resilience, nurturing. That is important for women to have a warmth about them. And I know one of the reasons why my husband married me was because he was like, you are so nice. So he felt like there was a lot of nurture in me. And maybe he didn't get a lot of that at home, which I don't think he did, but he felt like I was nice. I was just nice. And I still have a lot of people say that to me. Even at work last week, I had someone say, you are so kind. So there is a warmth at a woman's center and a nurturing and a kindness. But don't be afraid to fight. Don't be afraid to be tough. Don't be afraid to not be a pushover. There is that balance there that you have to have both in life. And if someone has behaviors in your life that, just are not respecting you, you don't have to feel like you have to tolerate it. I do not tolerate stuff from my sons. I just don't. And I didn't tolerate, disrespect from my husband. One of the things I felt like once I became a mother was I would not have bratty kids. That was one goal I said, I will not have bratty kids. It was like I cannot stand the behavior. I mean, I love kids. I absolutely love kids, but I cannot stand behavior from kids that act bratty. And I know from me babysitting and stuff, there were some kids that were very bratty, and I'm like, I have no tolerance for that kind of behavior. So, so you want to be a mother who says, I love you, I absolutely love you, but these are the house rules. And as I talk about things, with being a daughter with unconditional love, you don't have to earn that, nor as a daughter-in-law, nor as a wife. But there are some house rules, right? You don't earn that. You don't earn the position. The position is given to you, just like as we are adopted in Christ, that position is given to us. We didn't earn it. But there are some things that are wise to do, some things that are not wise, and some things you better know that you're not going to ever do. So, so that's kind of the thing, guys. There will always be up and downs in life, always, and you have to be able to handle it. You can't just say, oh, I need my peace. Don't disturb me in life. Let me come home to a cozy, quiet home and nobody bother me. That is not reality. When you are living life and living strong, you are going to probably daily run into stuff that you need to deal with. And as a woman, you want to be able to confront things head on. You want to, because what it does is it doesn't mean that you like to rock the boat. It means you're giving clarity to people. It's so that you don't have unnecessary misunderstandings with people. It's let me tell you what I think, let me tell you my boundaries, and let me put it right out there for you and be straight with you so that we know exactly what we're saying and how we're communicating so we can have a very clear understanding so that we can get along, right? That's kind of what the point of it is to always problem solve. So this is my first video that I am giving on some good, healthy advice on healthy relationships, things I've learned from my past, and I look back at it and I'm like, holy cow, Melissa, what were you thinking, right? What were you thinking? But I didn't have this. Like, I didn't have, all the personal development. So life was too busy, life was hectic, and it was way too busy to have time to develop myself until I became a mother. And that is when I started really working on myself. So, and it's important to have a purpose in life. And for me, that was once I became a Christian, I then had a purpose in life. And I was sharing last night at a church the abortion story and just, things that I went through. And it was great to hear another woman talk about what she sees when girls come into the abortion clinics, what she sees and how she um, I mean, not abortion clinic, pregnancy center, and things that she deals with. She was talking about things are very different than what you might think. So, we need those older women to help us grow, guys. And I had a lot of mentorship, and I so appreciate that. But we really want to get to a place of just being authentic with what we believe, and it takes time. I mean, you have a lot of different beliefs that are tossed to you, to and fro, well, so and so thinks this or so and so thinks this, and as you develop, you're like, what do I believe? Do I really believe that belief? So it's important to mature, ladies, and not just to be divisive in life. So I've got to run. Okay,